Perfect. What? Shut up. Excuse me, Facebook. They just blocked me on Instagram for some particular reason. So I'm going to give you all a chance to come on in. Audio is live now. Um, as I get them set up, is that okay? 890-093. This is crazy. 890-093. Wait 1 minute, people. Oh my God, they're sending me through so many changes. Um, Look like my Instagram audience not going to be in because this would be taking up too much of our time. I'll get on and let them know where they can go and get this show at. Anyway, welcome to the Word of Life Voices. Check in with Mama Wade, Better Health, Better Me. This is the month of July, and for this whole month, I want it to be about empowerment. So you will be meeting many guests or myself that will be bringing you something that will empower you to empower yourself. And I just believe that you are ready to rise. You are ready to go to the next level. You are ready to do whatever it needs to be done to be your better health, better self. Let's get the logistics out of the way. If you want to contact me, you can go to my website, www.jolindawade.com. Send me a message if you're interested in being on the show. If you have something you feel you can bring to the community, send that to my website. Also, you can go and re-watch this program on my YouTube channel, and that's Check In. Let me show you how it look. That's Check In with Mama Wade. There, you'll be able to see all the different talks that have been going on. You'll be able to see my messages that I did before I became a sole owner of my new ministry, Better Health, Better Me. And then you will be able to, I believe, get a lot of insight, a lot of understanding, a lot of knowledge, and a lot of wisdom where you will be able to use it appropriately. So I'm not going to keep you long. I want to bring on my friend, my mentor, my teacher, a very special man that God had placed in my life at a time when I did not know I was so broken. And he came along. God brought him into my life to strengthen me, to encourage me, and to help the healing process in which I found I needed. Your voice is very important. My voice is very important. I was given messages, but it was the form of communication that I needed to work on effectively. And this young man right here, my friend, Arthur Samuel Joseph, is going to come today and share with us and going to give you a little exercise to do. So you be ready as I bring in my guest, my teacher, my mentor, my friend, Arthur Joseph.
What a joy! You know what? I'm such an honor, such a privilege to be here. But I'm overjoyed in that introduction that you called me a young man when I'm a decade older than you are. So I love it.
Well, you're so young. you're so young in your spirit. You're so young with life. You have so much energy. You're definitely called to so many people that you energize us. So we pour from the youthful energy that you have, and so it sparks us to become our better self. So
Well,
that's why I said young man.
thank you. And I'm so honored to wear my shirt. So,
Ah, I see he's representing better health, better me, because that's what it's all about. It's about us being our better self. And I just thank you so much for that. So, listen, what I want to do, first of all, I want you to introduce yourself. Tell the community, the Better Health community, a little bit about Arthur.
I I would be glad to, but I'm going to preface it because when you gave me this shirt, you told me the pink version was for cancer.
Yes.
And my dear mother, speaking of empowerment, passed 26 years ago, and she was one of the two heroes in my life. My bride being the other, the two pillars of my life, my mother and my bride, Rebecca. And when she was diagnosed with cancer the last time she had it, and it had metastasized through her lymph system, they'd taken out part of her groin and part of her calf. And her surgeon, she was in recovery, and I was visiting with the surgeon right outside her door. And he told me she had 6 months to a year to live. So I went in, and I wasn't the most gentle child, and perhaps somewhat disrespectful even in this moment with her, because she's hooked up to all this stuff and in recovery, as I said. And I said, if you choose to die, it's on your terms. I want you to live. My mother lived another 23 years.
Oh, bless God. Yes.
And I begin our day with this because of the power of the mind, the power of the will. And I began my journey in vocal awareness. This is my 58th year of teaching since I created this work. And I'm so blessed. This has been my life's mission. I teach empowerment through voice. Voice is power. It doesn't mean big bombastic voices like that. It means integral, honest, real voices like that. And professionally, I began life as a classical singer. I have a master's in voice and had a nightclub act and did musical theater, earned my equity card when I was 17. In the chorus with Goldie Hawn out here and doing summer stock when we were both like 17 or 18. And but God had a very, very different journey for me. Instead of just being a performer, he made me a teacher. And one of God's gifts to me was my first voice teacher, Mrs. Julia Kinsel, who was maybe around my age when I first started studying with her, my age now. In the middle of my lessons, Jolinda, I would behave like this. I would say, stop, no, I don't want to do it like that. I hear it this way. Manically clamping my hands on me was like some crazy person. And she allowed this bizarre behavior because she knew something about me I didn't yet know. When I hear a voice, it's an instant imprint. I hear you. I don't have perfect pitch. I can't recognize D from B flat anymore on the scale. But when I hear your voice, I get you instantly. And so her lack of dogma helped me create new form. This is a paradigm shift in communication. It's trademarked, it's copyrighted globally. And I'm proud of that because it's original thought. And they said, nobody else gets to claim this. It's just yours. It's mine and God's, or God's and mine. It's on loan to me. And through my life, I've had the opportunity to teach amazing human beings. Holocaust survivors, renowned artists and movie stars, whether it be Jolinda asked me to share a few names from Sean Connery and Angelina Jolie to original Carol Lawrence in the original West Side Story on Broadway. And there was a music director, vocal director in the movie Annie, ... all this kind of stuff. But it's not so much the names, it's the opportunity. And now, 2.5, 2.75 years ago, one of the great honors of my life was to meet your beautiful son. And he has shared this publicly. I mean, he's one of the most honorable human beings I know. And he said to his agent one day, I need you to find me somebody to take me on the next leg of my journey. I had somebody for basketball, now I need somebody for the rest of my life. Mm. And his agent found me. And one of the themes in vocal awareness is that a champion does it differently. Now, interestingly enough, the root of the word champion is not just a sports-centric word. It means dazzlingly skilled in any field. And it also means warrior. Dwayne is a true champion, not just on the court, but in life, as you and I know. And in our first lesson, I said to him, Dwayne, in sport, somebody teaches you every single thing you do. Everything. But who teaches us to be us? That's this work. We don't realize how much work it takes, Jolinda, to be who we are while others watch. In our first meeting, I also said communication is earning power. I wanted Dwayne to reach not just a sports-centric audience. I wanted him to reach a demographic that was global, all walks of life.
Wow. Yes.
And Dwayne, of course, has taken that upon himself to do so. 4.5 months after we met, this young man from the south side of Chicago, coming from a different language base and having been a lifelong athlete, speaking in a certain way in the locker room, on the court, performed in his retirement speech, February 22nd, the Miami Heat retirement for him, when they put his number in the rafters. And of course you were there. You and I actually hadn't met yet.
Right.
And this retirement speech is on my website. I would love everyone to watch it, because I have never had a student in such a short period of time achieve what Dwayne achieved that day. It was exemplary, it was extraordinary, and it was a testament to the integrity of the man. Take a look. He'd never read prompter at this length for this length of time before, prepared remarks, and everything was annotated in one of the trademarked elements of our work called visceral language. He didn't even have time to rehearse on prompter that day. So the first time he saw it was when he walked out. And before walking out, we're warming up in the green room, on the mirror in the restroom, doing our warm-ups. I don't know any athlete who doesn't stretch before warming up. We warm up our voices before we perform.
Oh, I love that. Yes.
We fast forward to a couple of months ago. We're in the green room when he hosts Ellen, 2 shows. Never hosted a talk show before. We're in the green room warming up just like that. We walk out. He's behind the curtain. Their production team is speaking with him, and he's centering in source. He's centering in himself. He's embodying a man of stature. He walks out and he is as impeccable as I have ever seen anyone. You would never know that he had never done this. Because your son will do whatever it takes, as you know. So let me segue for a moment now to his extraordinary mother. My bride, Rebecca, and my dear mother are my heroes. You are another one of my heroes.
Thank you.
You're not merely a survivor, you're a phoenix. You've risen from the ashes and are soaring. Your honesty, your courage, the root of which, by the way, means art. Your integrity, which, by the way, means wholeness. I want your audience to know that the authenticity of who you are comes through in every breath, in the actions you take, in the outreach you do, such as Better Health, Better Me. And how very, very hard you allow us to work. Every word, if it's not right, the sound of your voice, the depth of the study you take on with nature. Once again, because a champion does it differently. So to have the privilege to teach you speaks volume. And to segue from this to why all of this matters and why I'm here today, speaking about this in your wonderful program, Better Health, Better Me, is because I am teaching empowerment through this. When we think about better health and better me, we perhaps think of nutrition and exercise and all the other aspects of this concept that you teach every week. But my concept is internal and external. If I ask all our audience to just work with me for just a moment and ask us to sit and embody ourselves as men and women of stature. And we get into stature by slowly and gracefully from 3 inches below our navel, pulling this golden thread slowly, gracefully, right up to the middle of my head, right here. In Indian study, in yogic studies, it's called the crown chakra. And we pull and extend further and further, straight up, straight up, straight up. Claiming ourselves as men and women of stature. And we notice our chests. We notice our core muscles, our abdominal muscles engage more. Now, watch what happens if I ask you, sit up straight, sit at attention. We hold our breath. And that's what happens every day in society when we present, when we feel judged, when we wonder, what are you thinking of me? We hold our breath because we're trapped in the remains of old behaviors. But when we first put ourselves in stature, the body's first impulse is to inhale. There, you just did it right there as I said it. So as we put ourselves in stature, Jolinda and your extraordinary audience, notice what happens intrapersonally within yourself and interpersonally out here. Your space is quieter, inside and outside. Things are stiller. And then while doing that, we engage in the first ritual of vocal release at the same time, which is to say thank you to God. Thank you to Source. So as we do it this time, releasing any tension in our neck and shoulders, we slowly and gracefully thank God as we put ourselves in stature, claiming our greatness. And when we thank Source, once again, the body's first impulse is to inhale. I teach a gazillion elite athletes in virtually any sport, and they all have rituals. And every ritual has a spiritual component. It's not just biomechanics. It's a spiritual component as well. But we don't apply that in life. But we do in vocal awareness. So before an important meeting, before you go on a date and you want to put your best foot forward, if you need to heal or heal someone else, everything begins with embodying yourself in stature and thanking God. And the body's first impulse is always to inhale, and your external, internal space quiet. We have 7 rituals in this world. Without even knowing what it means to your audience, please just take in the thought of saying love and let go. Just hear the phrase love and let go within yourself. Don't even say it aloud. Feel what it might be like to simply love and let go. And once again, you've just inhaled and your space is quieter. And what we're doing here is refining our vibration, refining our focus, refining our energy, and becoming more consciously aware. More consciously aware. Tuning in to our body's broadcast system. None of us in life got anywhere without. It's not for the faint of heart. Nobody got here unscathed. This journey is arduous. You know far better than anyone. We reach adulthood and we think this is it. We think we choose to be this way. We think we are in fear of what somebody might think if I get too strong or appear too strong or get too loud. How many times have we been told, oh, don't act like that, you sound arrogant. Oh, don't say that. What might people think? So if I say, Jolinda, vocal awareness is extraordinary work. It can help you change your life in moments. Now that's stupid and arrogant, you hope I'd acknowledge. But if I say in response, Jolinda, vocal awareness is extraordinary. It can help you change your life in moments. That's not arrogant. That's my. So we do not need permission to claim our power. We do not need approval to be who we are. We tune out the white noise of judgment, of old knee-jerk responses to a particular situation. When you got on that bus one day, in 2001, you had a choice to go in another direction. But you chose the right direction because it was the one God was leading you to take. And you listened. I teach in our work that every single thing in life revolves only around 2 things. To choose to do something or to choose not. Doesn't matter how scary, how seemingly daunting, how dangerous, whatever. All that matters is how badly I want it. Even in walking away, we make a choice. I think about your extraordinary son and all in the life he grew up with and all the positive choices he made for himself throughout his life, the courageous choices he took, never once caving to a choice that might in the moment have seemed easier because it wasn't the right choice. You, by the same token, when you were awakened over 20 years ago, when you listened to God's voice, Not one time since then have you ever hung up and said, sorry, wrong number.
Mm.
So I want your audience to understand that when you teach Better Health, Better Me, it comes from your own teaching of yourself, your own life lessons. So when you asked me to be your guest today, I just was humbled and honored. Doesn't take much to frankly, I don't think about humility very often. I'm too old and arrogant to concern myself. But I was humbled to be on your show today.
Well, thank
because
you.
of your show. And am I making sense, Jolinda? Am I being relevant? Am I providing what it is you had hoped I would provide, or would you have questions of me?
Yes, I believe you're being very relevant. I believe the people, by the way, if some of you have any questions, you can put it on the page and I can share it with this extraordinary young man that God have for us today in his divinity. And I pray that you all are really understanding what he's saying, especially when he talked about the ritual. And it was something that is good for me. It worked for me. And it's very important, as Arthur taught me, for us to put it in practice. If you don't put it in practice, you lose it, especially in my case. I'm going to talk about my case. He shared with me, and it was so extraordinary, how my voice was an instrument. Okay. And how I need to be able to use that instrument effectively, where it will be able to put out the message that I really want to put out to people, to not just reach a block of people, but to go outside of the block and to reach other people and other cultures and other places. And it resonated with me. And so, yes, I practice it, not effectively as I should, but I practice it. And I'm one that is able to continue to sit up under his teaching, because I want to be my better health, better me self, and to be able to be corrected. Can we be corrected in things that words or phrases, or because of our environment, our past experiences, that we were used to speaking? And to tell you that, no, you're not saying that word right. My challenge is ask. Did I do it right, Arthur?
You know you did.
Ask. And listen, another word that I had, myself and my son, I found out that we were mispronouncing was, we lived on 59th and we used to say prairie. And he said, what? I said 59th and prairie. No, prairie.
No.
Oh, no.
You used to say prairie.
Prairie, but it's prairie.
Yeah. See, you're saying it correct and couldn't. It's so natural you didn't remember the old way.
Yes. So I pray that this is helping somebody. But speak on that again, that you share with me, about how our voices are our instrument that God gave us.
And also, you just made an important point. In this work, whatever walk of life, my goal is never to make you into someone you're not, but to bring out what's possible. My responsibility is not to you or to whomever the student is, but to God and the work, the capital W work.
Wow. Powerful.
This is an instrument, our larynx, the smallest muscle in the body, and it only works with air. And we want to learn how to play it. We want to learn how to use it as masterfully as possible, because it's energy, it's vibration. We're in a very, very dangerous time in our country. The most dangerous time since I've been alive. And it all began with a man who screamed and shouted and debased language and usurped power, just like Adolf Hitler did 90 years ago. Speaking to a particular demographic that got bigger and bigger, usurping their power through the power of his own voice. So I'm awakening us, Jolinda, because it's insidious, it is dangerous. And I want us to be sovereign. I want us to be able to own our power so no one else can take it from us. I want us to speak truth to power. I want us to live in the integrity of the vibration of our voice. If I speak with you like this, Jolinda, right now, and I say what a joy it is to be with you today, that something's wrong with that. Don't know what it is, but it doesn't feel right. But if I simply speak with you like this, Jolinda, it's back to being Arthur. Now, we didn't think, wow, why didn't that first one feel any good? We didn't think, well, the pitch was too high, and he spoke a little whiny. Now, you didn't think the second time all Arthur did was breathe and go a little deeper. All you got was Arthur was more genuine.
Yes.
So if your audience looks back at the 3 or 4 minutes that you were speaking so eloquently a moment ago, you were in the 6th ritual of vocal awareness, and the 3rd, you were in your conscious loving breath. You were in your 6th ritual of deeper listening.
Yes.
And your presence, your awareness was exquisite. And I'd like our audience to notice, because that was a choice you made. And you're learning to play your instrument. The greatest string instrument maker of history of instrumental music was a 16th century violin and cello maker by the name of Stradivarius. And they cannot duplicate today the violins that he made 500 years ago. Those violins and cellos are worth millions and millions of dollars today. And I want you to be able to play your instrument like a Stradivarius. Playing it so that every note that you speak, every tone that emanates from your body is integrated through source, integrated through conscious awareness, because that vibration impacts your audience, impacts everyone who hears you. Our 3rd ritual is critically important. Everybody, just take a nice deep top of the morning breath. It's great to be alive. And exhale. Now, don't ever do that again, please. Instead, allow a slow, silent, conscious, loving breath. And enjoy it while you do so. It will take 5 to 7 seconds. And I'm going to guide it. You don't have to do anything with your hands. I'll do this for you. But put yourself in stature. Love and let go. Feel source. Notice your space is getting quiet. Internally, externally. And we begin together, slowly, lovingly, deeper, deeper, deeper. And exhale. The first time your chest rose. The second time your ribcage expanded. What's so interesting, Jolinda, I changed the word from take a breath to allow a loving breath, and I return you to the breath of a newborn. That's the first breath. We need a lot of oxygen fast. It's called an intercostal diaphragmatic breath. But an infant's first breath, everything expands as a bellows, just like this. I change the word from take to allow, the word from take to love, and I return you to your first breath. Let's experience this again in stature, connecting to source, loving and letting go. And slowly, lovingly begin. Deep. And notice how peaceful it is. And what is this all about? But you see, your breath is not only physical, it's emotional and spiritual. The first thing that happens when we're in trauma is we hold our breath. When we're anxious or afraid, we hold our breath. And the breath is spiritual. The root of the word spirit, spiritus, means to breathe. I never want you or I to motivate our audience. I want us to inspire them, to breathe into them, inspirare. The Hebrew word neshama means both soul and breath. So I'm always invoking spirit when I breathe this. And when I'm in conscious awareness, seeing the edge and arc of sound and doing these other vocal awareness techniques, I'm always connecting with source, refining my energy, refining my vibration, living in the integrity of not just the message, but the messenger. And that's such an important lesson I want your audience to take from you, is that you embody not just the message, but you've taken on the mantle of the message. You know you've been called. And our responsibility is to serve that calling.
Yes. Yes.
We doing okay today? I hope I'm not usurping all the time and your audience.
Oh, no.
Tuned out.
You're doing perfect today. You're definitely, and I'm not selfish, I'm sharing them, but you're definitely, I believe, reaching the people. You're teaching the people because you are a teacher about the effectiveness and how breath, how our voice is still so connected to our source. How it radiates an energy, when we speak to people. Another thing, guys, that he's working with me on is when I get excited or I get emotional, I run when I speak instead of doing what we call a CLB.
Conscious loving breath.
Conscious loving breath. Taking that time before I even roll over into the next thought. But sometimes we're so emotional. I'm talking about me, giving the message and, speaking loud with it. And I can go back and say that that's what I'm still, dealing with, because my emotions sometimes get rise. And he's my teacher. He lets me know, okay, take your CLB, remember it, put it on tab in front of you so that you can see it, to remember it, because it's about getting it in my spirit mind. It's about making sure that I can see it. And so if I keep doing it, because I still teach Bible study, he said, even around the house with the children, continue to practice it. Read aloud in a book. And when I read aloud in the book so I can hear it, I'm able to see, well, there's a period there. The period means take your conscious loving breath. Don't run. There's a comma. Take your conscious loving breath. Don't run. And because he's teaching me to do that, I'm able to now listen. Deeper listening is very important. I'm able to listen and then to be able to go into the next phase of whatever I'm getting ready to say. And then I can know whether I need to put emphasis here on my voice, or do I keep my voice at a level plane, or what I do with it. And it's not complicated. It was at first for me, because what? But once you do it and you hear it or record yourself doing it, you'll be able to say, like I say a lot of times, wow. I don't know about you all, but because of the exercise he just did with us, it brought such a peace. What about you all? Somebody give me a comment. Juanita said, is this effective or compatible for our youth? How do we teach them how to use their voice as an instrument?
Oh, how lovely. When I was in my early 20s, a message came to me. I choose to believe that it came from Source. And it said, go to the mirror and say, I love you. No, I no more believe that than pigs can fly. But I was told to go to the mirror and say, I love you, because you couldn't have found my self-esteem with a Mount Palomar telescope in the day. And day in and day out for some time, I went to the mirror every morning and said, I love you. One day I woke up and I actually believed it. More time went along and I'd actually become it. I work with in a wonderful program called Work Wonder, one of my students created several years ago, where we go into upper, lower middle class school districts and bring them vocal awareness. Rising high school seniors. And they're learning vocal awareness at 17. It's deeply moving for me because they've really taken it on. And there are 6 of them that have been with me on and off for 3 years now. They're all freshmen. Half of them are freshmen in college, just finished their freshman year. And the other one will be a senior at Georgetown in DC, who have been studying with me long enough that they're now teaching the work to their peers. The youngest child I ever taught singing to was about 6 months old. I was training her mother, who is a tremendous singer. And she'd just gotten through breastfeeding her, and she came in and was holding her during her lesson. And I said to her daughter, who was 6 months at the time, watch my lips and do this. Blah, blah, whatever the sounds were I was making with her, ya, ya, ya. And she copied me in tune. She's a wonderful singer today at 22.
Praise the...
I've taught deaf people to sing. I used to be a professor at the University of Southern California, and there was a young woman in my class who wore 2 hearing aids and couldn't hear a lick. But she's in my voice class, and I'd always believed I could teach deaf people to sing, though I never tried. So we began the first semester with one hand on my larynx so she could feel vibration, one hand on the top of a beat-old upright piano so she could feel vibration, and I'm pounding the heck out of these keys and going, ya, 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 really loudly so she can feel. Her first semester final, ya, 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 do, there, mechanically like that. Second semester final, 20 feet out on the Bing Auditorium stage, ya, 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 do, dear, raindrops on roses. She missed the first semester of her junior year, came back for the second, and one of the popular country hits of the time was Blue Bayou. She sang it at a performance level. You never would have known this young woman could not hear a lick. All done through vibration, all done through extraordinary commitment to getting this. Why am I sharing this? And along with one more story, we're sitting in church, a mosque, temple as a family when holding our children when they're young. Our child is 6 months old, 9 months old. And one of the ways an infant explores their universe at that age is by going gaga and goo goo. They're making baby sounds, just being themselves. And a loved one gently pats them on their back and says, shh. And socialization begins. We begin to shut our child down before our child is even having a chance to open up and discover himself.
Whoa.
So,
Wow.
how do we bring this to children? By giving them permission to be themselves. By putting them in situations where they can be in a school choir, a church choir, where there's music in the home. Understanding that when I talk to you like this, what's going to happen to that child's energy? That child is going to be terrified and immediately tighten up and shut down. So learning how to speak as much of the time as possible with respect and understanding. As I said, none of us got here unscathed. I am just as big a culprit as all of you out there have been. But I've learned. And this is a better way. It is a more effective way. And for me, importantly, it is a very God-conscious way. Because we are always in service, no matter our walk of life. One can be an atheist or an agnostic and still find something to acknowledge outside of themselves and still do this work. If anybody watches this again, that's Dodger in the background greeting our audience.
Using his voice.
And see what you get from me. Watch what happens when I sit in front of you like this. Or I sit in front of you. Or I sit in front of you like that. You see, it's not just this instrument. Our body's an instrument. Our body's broadcast system radiates energy. I just chose 3 different postures and you had 3 different impressions.
Yes.
So as we near the end of our time, because I know we're on the hour, there's an important exercise I'd like people to write down. It's called choosing my vocal and presentational persona. Choosing my vocal and presentational persona. Now, the root of the word persona comes from an ancient Greek word, which literally means through the sound. One's identity is largely conveyed through the sound of a voice, and an opinion instantaneous. So one question you answer is, how do I believe I'm presently perceived? How do I believe I am presently perceived? Another one is, and listen to this one because it's subtly different, how would I ideally like to be known? Not directed at others as perception is, but known first to myself and then by extension to others. Once again, you mean I have a choice? Absolutely. You mean I don't need permission? Absolutely not. When I speak about empowerment through voice, Jolinda, I also teach voice is power. And when I own my voice, I own that power.
Yes.
Nobody can take it from us, but we can hand it to them on a silver platter.
Wow.
We know it is not a level playing field out there. But I hope that your wonderful audience who tunes into you each week is taking away from this that it no longer has to be business as usual. I taught a well-known motivational speaker many years ago. His name is Tony Robbins. And Tony would refer to my 7 rituals as pattern interrupts. He would say to create a new pattern, you have to exaggerate behavior to break an old one. You and your exquisite son allow me to interrupt your patterns every time we meet. Not because I'm hierarchical and always have to be right, but because I'm teaching and you're learning and we're growing together. And I've earned your trust, and you know that my intentions are pure. I want you to be the very best Jolinda you can possibly be. I want Dwayne to have the opportunity to be the most extraordinary man he's capable of being and live in communication mastery. Because the lives of millions of people that he impacts through his presence, through the messages, through what he represents. If he spoke merely as he used to communicate, he's speaking to a much narrower demographic than he's able to reach today.
Yes.
So I want our audience, as I summarize a bit of this, to remember that when you own your voice, you own your power.
Yes.
To go to the mirror each and every day and begin your day by saying, I love you. By beginning your rituals, by putting yourself in stature, claiming your greatness. As you do so, thank God.
Yes.
Love and let go. Or as you write it, love and let God. I often give to small children, when I meet them for the first time, a harmonica as a gift. I love playing harmonica. When you blow in, you get a note. When you suck out, you get a chord. So when you're breathing, you're always making music. When I'm in my conscious loving breath, I'm always in the spirit of God. When you're speaking about periods and breathing, as a singer, a rest, a song without a rest is not the same piece of music. So you've learned that space has value.
Yes.
It creates thinking time. It creates choice. I can speak to you as fast as I want to speak, and I can be as excited as I want to be. But then I can change it. Because I'm in my conscious awareness. I'm in that 6th ritual. Pay attention, deeper listening. I don't want your audience to think that I want everybody to be this boring, pedantic speaker like me and just drone on, and everybody goes. We can change up the tempo anytime we want. So living in the deeper listening. Living in the 5 to 7 second conscious loving breath. Enjoying it while we do so. Invoking source. We didn't deal with it today, perhaps another time. Seeing what I call the edge and arc of sound. Even Jolinda does this so well. Share a moment or two, Jolinda, please, with your fingernail on the edge of your top lip, and tell us how we've done today, or anything you want to say. And the other hand like this, Jolinda, just on the very edge. No, your fingernail on the very edge of your top lip, not under your tongue.
Okay.
No. Put your fingernail right here on the edge of your top lip.
Oh, my top lip.
Top lip, right there, your index finger, and tilt your hand up like a plane taking off, Uh-huh. Lower your head, just the hand, and tell us how we've done today. In 3, 2.
We have done amazing today. We have had an awesome show, and things have really been excited, and we have much information that we didn't have before.
Now take it away, and now just speak envisioning that. And what else would you like to say as yourself and not the mechanical robot you just were, but still seeing this?
I believe that
With your CLB to begin it.
I believe that we have had an amazing show, that the people have learned so much on how to further their voice and how to use it for their own empowerment, how to own their own voices.
And as Jolinda just so eloquently shared that, she was building upon one of the exercises, which is the fourth one, to see the edge and arc of sound.
Yes.
And so when she stopped, she envisioned this in her mind's eye. Because I don't want to speak on a rope straight at the computer screen or to our audience out there or anything. I always wanted to see our voice soaring. And we focus on it, leaving our bodies right there and soaring. And just releasing any tension and embodying the size of who we are. And the last request I would make of your audience is to create their vision statement. If we're speaking about empowerment, we need to have a very clear map for the direction of our journey. What is my vision for myself? 2 words, capital S, by the way, because the 7th ritual is be myself. 3 words with a capital S. It does not say present for whose approval. It says be, embodiment, my deeper self. So what is the contribution I want to make? We need to have a very clear map for taking this journey. So you write out your vision statement. Who am I? Combined with your persona statement. How do I want the world to know me? And what is the contribution I'm here to make? And then we integrate it with another piece of the map-making puzzle, a timeline. If this is where I am, this recording on July 7th, 2022, where do I want to be at the end of this year on December 7th? And if that's what I want to have achieved, where do I have to be by November 7th and October 7th? So we set timelines. We don't just set some goal. We set structured time. Wow. How do we achieve this? And we put it into a visual matrix. Okay, I'm going to write this on Tuesday at 10. I'm going to practice delivering this. I'm going to keep refining it until I like it. And then I'm going to work on achieving it. Jolinda, I hope your audience knows what a gift you are.
Thank you.
And I don't just say that because I love you and admire you so much. I simply say it because I tell the truth and I recognize. And we can't tell everybody how great we are. I had a brand expert tell me years ago, if you tell everyone what a great lover you are, nobody listens. But if somebody else tells you what a great lover you are, everybody listens. So you're not going to tout your own extraordinary ability, so I'll tout it for you. You are an amazing human being. And whomever learns from you is blessed to learn from the master.
Thank you so much, Arthur. Thank you once again for being a guest on Better Health, Better Me, empowerment, because I believe that, look, they right now, we love you, we love you. Look at, they got, everybody love it on Instagram. I'm going to read it later. But before you go, and we is right there on the hour, I do want to show the book, Voice Leadership. I'm trying to make it where it's
vocal leadership.
Vocal leadership, 7 minutes a day to communication mastery. This is author's book. I got this book, and it was another one. And when I tell you how it helped me to be able to go back and to read it over and over again, a lot of things that he just discussed will be in this book. So if you're interested in really learning what author is talking about, then you can get his book at support@vocalawareness.com, or he said, oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
They can just write to vocalawareness.com and the book will be sent, or they can get it on Amazon. The support at vocalawareness.com is if anybody wants to reach out to me, my team gets the email and forwards to me, then we can develop a dialogue. I'm always open to conversation.
Okay.
And also, there is an audiobook version of that with me babbling for 12 million hours, if people would prefer to listen to the recording of it rather than read it. There are ebooks, all kinds of versions of this book. So that's very kind of you to share it with people.
Powerful, powerful, powerful book.
Tell us that again and see a period and see a downbeat on the P.
Powerful, powerful.
Feel the difference, everyone? That's visceral language. Jolinda knows how to do that in spades. You should attend her Bible study and hear when she's reading verse and when she's teaching using visceral language. It'll have the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. So.
All right. Thank you again for appearing today and sharing with our audience. This is Check-In with Mama Wade. I will be talking with you later, Arthur. You tell Rebecca, give her my love, and thank you once again.
Thank you.
All right, listen, that was a great show here today. That's sharing with you all some of the teachings that I am getting for my next level that I believe that God is calling me to. I do want to apologize on Instagram where we wasn't able to start with you all, but my account they said some type of suspicious activity, so I had to go in and re-get it together. But as you see, I brought you in to get some of this powerful teaching. Once again, you want to get this book. You want to get this book, Voice Leadership. It is a powerful, powerful book. Okay? All right. Remember, you write support@vocalawareness.com. If you want to communicate with them, you can get this book, audio, the different things on your Amazon.com. All right? All right. Love you. Thank you. This is Mama Wade checking out. Once again, if you want to watch this over again, go to my YouTube page. Check in with Mama Wade. All of the shows are on there, but you'll be able to actually see this show as well. Thank you, Brother Mac, for always being there and making sure that it's posted and making sure that everything goes right for what I'm doing here. I know I went a little bit over an hour, but that was some great information. I didn't want to stop it. Thank you again, Sister Juanita, for such an awesome question, and I pray that he was able to answer it. Once again, when we're in church, that is a habit. We'll say, shh, shh, don't stop them. Don't stop them, because we have now done something that we shouldn't do. All right. God bless you, and you all have a wonderful, wonderful day. Mama Wade checking out.